So 7th gen is in Hawaii, right? I mean, we have so many YouTube theory videos about it, so it must be true. Well, I do hope so, because if not, these predictions may be way off. But anyways, with that going in mind, I'm going to be speculating on the fossils for 7th gen, if 7th gen is in fact in Hawaii. Now, to a fact, Hawaii actually hasn't been around that long, and there hasn't been that much time for the typical dinosaur fossil to come to exist, mainly the Jurassic fossils. So with this, I'm presuming that this time the fossil Pokemon will be quite a bit different from previous generations. Now, to set up a few boundaries, there's always seemed to be a defensive and offensive type fossil Pokemon in previous games, so I'll try to follow that here. And as well, I'll say where you could possibly find these things in the region, or maybe some speculation on stuff like that. Now, I gotta be real with you all, Hawaii has a very small amount of real fossils there, so don't really expect way too much amazing stuff in this list. But anyways, here are my ideas on the 2 new fossil Pokemon that may appear in 7th generation. So firstly, let's talk a defensive fossil, and what I've been thinking is that if the designers do follow the fossil patterns in Hawaii at least a little bit, they'll probably most likely decide to do a mollusk, or a snail, or a slug, or something like that, as their #1 choice. This is one of the most common fossils near Hawaii, and it's very easy to think of a snail as a defensive type of Pokemon, you know, with other ones already existing like Macargo and Omnistar. Now what you're probably just thinking is, wait, there's already a fossil Pokemon that is a snail that you just said its name, Omnistar. And now this is all true, but what I'm thinking that they could maybe do is make this new fossil a slug and include no shell at all. Maybe make it look kind of rocky and hard and a bit brown to try to fit, you know, the fossil archetypes, and there you go. There's a new Pokemon. It could be defensive, and it could still be a slug type of thing. It's a really simple thing to think of, but after looking at the fossil history in Hawaii for quite a bit, this seems like the very logical choice, as it's probably the most common creature to find as a fossil. Now to fossil 2, the offensive one. So I have another idea for this one, correlating to Hawaii's fossils, and once again, this thing will be kind of like an earlier fossil Pokemon from a previous generation. So for the offensive Pokemon, I'm thinking of a prehistoric bird. Now I know what you're thinking, what about Archeops? But wait and give me a minute to explain this. So to differentiate the design a little bit, I would want this one to be a ground-based bird instead of a flying-based bird like Archeops is. There are many prehistoric birds like this, as you see on the screen, and many grounded ones, so it would work pretty well. There's just a lot of choices for this, and I think that having a grounded-based bird is quite a big enough change from having a flying one, so that's really all you really need. Now, I chose a bird because Hawaii's terrestrial fossil record has a lot of quaternary birds, mainly in its sand dunes and in its sinkholes. So these things are somewhat common to find there and show up actually quite a bit when you look a little bit for them. And as well, with this mixture of this offensive and defensive type of Pokemon, I feel like they would fit very well together, and since there's such different types of fossils, I feel like it would be pretty cool to see these two in the same region. Now, finally, where would you get these things? Well, I'd like you to pick one of the two within a sandy part of the region, maybe on a big cliff over the ocean. This lets you be close to the dunes where the birds come from, while also not being far away from the water-based fossil Pokemon, the mollusk. It seems like a very good mix to me, and if I guess this all right, I'm gonna give myself a pat on the back. And that's all I got. Now, of course, this was made from my very basic understanding of Hawaii and the paleontology from there, so please don't be way too harsh on me if you are an expert. Anyways, I love making this video. It's fun to do a bit of research to see what would be most likely to come to fruition. And if you want any more of these type of videos, like the video, and tell me in the comment section if you just like this nature of video. Anyways, thank you guys a ton, and I'll see you all next time.